Afrinic has been put under receivership towards a process of restoration, a proper member-based election where the rights of members are being protected. However, NRS has been informed by an anonymous report that TISPA, the Tanzanian ISP Association, has sponsored Benjamin, who is also a former director of Afrinic, to file an appeal against the receiver and the upcoming election while unlawfully representing Afrinic in receivership in which he has no locus. This is shocking yet expected news from one of those previous directors who are still desperately trying to grasp power that they no longer possess against the will of the members and the community. These contentious actions have threatened to derail the rule of law in the favor of greedy, once again, and unauthorized individual players. Individuals such as the former Council of Elders member Viv Padayatchy and former director Benjamin Eshun have been actively working to have the receivership removed and blocked the process towards a member-based election which the Afrinic community has been waiting for so long, and their efforts have raised questions and concerns. Viv Padayatchy in particular has taken a strong stance against the receivership. He sent a letter of complaint containing several allegations, many of which have been deemed and proven to be unfounded, in an apparent attempt to block the process. Meanwhile, Benjamin Eshun continually claims that he represents Afrinic despite his defunct position on the board of directors, and has pretended to be Afrinic to file an appeal against the receivership. However, the Honorable Judge has already ruled that due to the lack of a functioning board, Afrinic cannot have legal representation. It remains unclear how Benjamin, as an ex-director, managed to persuade the court to accept such an application, seemingly impersonating Afrinic. This isn't news to us because we have seen how many defunct board members in the past have tried to use their non-existent powers and positions to strong-arm the courts and other Afrinic resource members. Furthermore, upon conducting a search on the Mauritius company portal, it was observed that the name of the defunct director was not removed despite a formal request to do so. Because despite the receivership being the only viable path currently available to reconstitute Afrinic through a member-based election, it is puzzling why Benjamin and his associates are desperately clinging to the last remnants of their power and obstructing the only avenue towards a member-based election. On 4th of October, in light of Benjamin and Viv's illegal representation of Afrinic, Cloud Innovation filed a case and received an injunction against both of them representing Afrinic. Yet, such an injunction was lifted by the Court of Appeal a few days later. This order was made after Benjamin stated under oath and under the warning of perjury that he is still the director of Afrinic, and worst, he still claims to represent Afrinic in receivership. Now, since the powers of the receiver have been stayed by a person who doesn't have legal standing to represent Afrinic or the receivership, Afrinic is now back to a state in which no one can make decisions for the registry, and a member-based election becomes even distant. If Benjamin persists on his desperate attempt, Afrinic elections can be delayed for many more years, awaiting the court to finalize its process. And all of us, members of Afrinic, will be left in the hands of no one. In light of these developments, we strongly encourage any member who is aware of such a situation to inform the receiver that Benjamin is not an Afrinic director. He is an ex-director who doesn't want to face fair election and lost his mandate, desperately holding his last grasp of power. By uniting together, we can work towards an open and fair election process that can help steer Afrinic towards a more stable and accountable future. Together, we can overcome the obstacles created by those attempting to impede progress and bring about positive change for Afrinic and the entire internet community.